Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, welcome to Critical Beauty. Today I have another special guest. His name is Anni Ankola. He is Mr. California Global 2025, and he is representing California in the America Global competition to take place in Washington, D.C. on August 23rd. So if you have any questions or comments for Anni, please feel free to write them down in the chat box below, and I'd be more than happy to read them back to him. So we're just waiting for him to enter the chat room. So I think I see him now.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Annie, how are you?
Good. Where are you based out of?
I'm actually near Providence. I'm in the state of Massachusetts, but I live
Yeah,
closer to Providence than I do in Boston. No,
nice.
you don't live in San Francisco, do you?
I'm close by. I say like I'm San Jose based, but I'm like always in the city.
Okay, because I'm
Near
from
Ashland.
I'm originally from San Francisco. I grew up there,
Nice.
so I know
What
that
part?
area quite well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of like miss it. The last time
yeah,
I was there was about was it like 7 years ago?
yeah,
And a lot of things have changed
yeah.
already here back then. Yeah. Do they still have SUVs? Oh my
Now it's like you got all the Waymos now,
God.
all the self-driving cars.
Yeah. Do you want to like raise your volume a little bit up because yeah, it's a little
Can
low.
you hear me? Is this better?
Yeah. For some reason your voice keeps fading. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
wondering, maybe
I'm
I can get
close
my
to my
head.
microphone as much as I could. Oh, maybe that are you wearing an
No,
earpiece?
I can go get my headphones. Maybe that's
Okay,
good.
yeah,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, give me a sec.
You gotta do that one. Yeah. We'll wait. Wow. We just saw him enter into the Golden Gate Bridge. How amazing. How amazing what technology can do. All these virtual backgrounds. So while waiting for Annie to come back, if you have any questions for Annie, please feel free to jot them down. I hope everybody's doing well. And welcome to Critical Beauty. Yeah. So he's trying to set up. Okay, say something.
A little better.
Slightly better, yeah. Slightly
Slightly
better.
better. Okay. Yeah.
Slightly better. All right.
And
So
yes,
Um, well, finally glad to meet you.
yeah,
And you must be really very excited about the competition.
yeah.
Okay.
Super excited. It's my
When do
first
you leave?
pageant. So I leave the 20th, so I believe that's Wednesday. Yeah. And then I get into DC area around 6, and then everything begins.
So the actual competition is on the 23rd, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you been to DC?
I have as a kid, it's been a really long time. And so I know that like Thursday they got the White House tour, so I think that's gonna be really interesting. And then I know we're all gonna be like sashed up for that, so that'll be pretty cool.
Uh, it's actually a beautiful city. I was there a few years ago,
Yeah.
and it feels very kind of like European because the architecture, the
Yeah.
the streets and the avenues are like wide. It's easier for for cars to navigate here and there, and there's so many great museums as well. So
Yeah.
so if you guys want to know more about American history, go see Washington, D.C. Okay. That's things right there.
It's where the country was born.
Yeah, totally. Capital.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm finally glad to meet you. But to those people out there who do not know you, tell them a little bit about who you are, your background, your family, and all that wonderful
Sure.
things.
Yeah. So as for those that don't know me, my name is Anni Ankola, year 2025, Mr. California. So to give you guys a little bit about my background, right? So I was born and raised in the Silicon Valley, grew up in like a very the tech world, right? So I was raised by a single mom, and then kind of with my background, I started my degree in economics, finished that in 2 years, then went on to do my master's in computer science, and then found Spira, which is my company that's focused on bringing authenticity back to beauty, right? So it's like a digital makeup drawer, and that's kind of like my platform as well.
Okay, so you're California boy.
Yeah, I'm like Bay Area based. Yeah,
So
born
you
and
must be
raised.
like, how often do you go to the beach?
Um, Whenever I'm in the city, I'm usually like right by there because one of my friends is right next to is in Sunset. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so whenever I'm in the city, I always end up swinging by. So
So
always
do you,
seeing the Golden Gate Bridge and all that. Yeah.
now do you surf?
I don't surf. It's one of those things that I think has been on my bucket list for a while. I know when I was living in Mexico, I definitely tried it, but it's just one of those things I feel like you need to do repetitively to actually get the motion down. But yeah, no, a lot
Yeah.
of friends do though. Yeah.
Yeah, so but have you actually lived outside of California in other states?
Um, no, honestly, because I went to school in California. I've lived in different parts of California, and I guess during COVID, I actually lived in Oaxaca for like 6 months. So
Where?
Oaxaca, so it's like southern Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I was there most of COVID. So that was really interesting. And then yeah, just working remote, living on the beach. Life was
Yeah.
good.
Well, Oaxaca, it's like an extension of California, pretty much, right? I mean,
I would describe
from a
Oaxaca as
temperature point of view, at least.
climate-wise, yeah. Culturally, I'd say it's like Wisconsin, right? Because you got like corn, you got cheese, and then you got mezcal. Yeah.
Yeah, but Southern California, I think, is the it's like the happening capital of America,
Yeah.
especially, a lot of people. Actually, it's funny because somebody said that anybody who's in LA is not originally from LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now it's like LA goes to San Diego whenever they want to like party. It's interesting. And so yeah, yesterday I was taking around so one of the Miss Universe Bahamas girls was in
Uh-huh.
town, so I was taking around her and her family. And then it's interesting, right? Because they're like the weather's cold in the city versus I think like everyone's expectation in California is like LA, San Diego when it's California has different climates. I know SF we got Carl the Fog. So I
Yeah.
think that's always a fun thing to tell people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the best time to go when you want to pursue a career, I think,
Yeah.
related to entertainment. I would think movies, radio,
Yeah.
television, and all that stuff. I mean, New York is great, but it's not the same with LA because all the happenings are in LA pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So anyway, how did you get interested in pageants,
Yeah.
specifically Mr. America Global?
So I got first involved with pageants at Miss Universe last November, right? So because
That's
so
right.
my
You have a photo with Victoria.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so kind of so how I got involved with pageants was basically through Spira, right? So with our platform being designed as a way for people to kind of like share their makeup drawers, see into what people are using, right? Like sneak into Victoria's drawer and see what products she used, right? And so that was kind of like what kind of got me interested in pageantry because I know with our previous iteration, we had a feature where it was like take a selfie, get matched to celebrities that look like you, right? And so I approached Miss Universe saying that like, hey, we could potentially build something like that for the Miss Universe system where fans could take a selfie, get matched to the up and coming Miss Universe candidates, and then see into the drawers of their beauty products. And so that was kind of like what kind of initially drew me to pageantry. And
Mhm.
then while I was there, I was just blown away by how impressive everyone competing was, right? Because like you think about it, oh, it's a beauty pageant, it's a beauty expo, there's a lot of beauty people, but then the beauty part was the least impressive part about them, right? Because like they're all involved with so many more philanthropies, so many more like they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers. There's all these impressive things that they're doing, and so that's kind of what got me involved in pageantry. And then that was where I met Tony and Julio that got me involved with the men's pageant.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's talk about Miss Universe. Was that your
Yeah,
first Miss Universe pageant that you attended?
that was the first Miss Universe pageant I attended. Yeah.
Okay. And were you content with the results, with the winner?
I think like for granted, like the squad I was with is biased towards someone else. I'll just say that. Um, but I do think it was a interesting turnout for my perspective, at least. I know some people were like they saw that from like day one as Victoria being the winner. I know like because I was close with some of the people from Nigeria and then some of the people from Australia, right? So yeah, like I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a very competitive, well, it was a very
yeah,
competitive competition. And there were a lot. I mean, it was like 100 almost 130 contestants.
yeah. That's like one of the big things I heard with this year. It's like basically double the size of the previous one. Because usually, because there's like 70 to 80 countries that compete, but this year was like 130.
Yep.
So it's
Hmm.
almost two pageants in one. And I think even at the arena, right? Like I speak Spanish, so I was okay. But like there's no one at that arena who spoke Spanish or spoke English. So everyone was lost. And then for us to get to our VIP seats, there's only one elevator to get there.
Hmm.
And so it was, I don't know, there's definitely some logistical issues they need to sort out.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, as much as I love the competition itself, I didn't think the production was on
Oh yeah.
par compared to the past previous
Yeah.
productions. And I talked about that on my vlogs, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Because
anyhow, so how are you preparing yourself for your competition as far as, physique? Are you pretty much content with your current physique? Because I
yeah,
think they're
so
going to judge on your swimsuit, right?
yeah. So that was one of the things where it's like I was in the Bahamas in May, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but like that food is heavy, right? And so it's like and that like I basically got announced right before, so like I basically had 8 weeks to get ready for this. Where it's like I'm reasonably happy with my physique. I do wish maybe like a couple more weeks just to lean out a little bit, but I've definitely been like ramping up my cardio, tracking my macros a lot more meticulously. I know one of the things I've been doing is like basically doing like protein shake egg white pancakes, right? And so that's one of the things where it's like it gets the protein down a little bit easier. So it's just like you put a banana, put some egg whites, you put a protein shake in there, blend it, and then you put it like pretend it's a pancake. But I think that's one of the things I've been doing. And I know for the men's pageant, right, there's a lot more musculature that's involved as well,
Hmm.
right? And so I do think it's like it's there's a piece that we have to acknowledge as men to basically like we need to have a decent frame as well. We can't just be skinny. And then I think there's like a little bit that I'm still learning about as far as like how do you cycle your carbs? So then that way for the photo shoot, you're like carved up, but you're still dry and not bloated. It's like there's a whole science behind that piece that I'm like still learning about. Yeah.
I think the most challenging aspect of, trying to get in shape is, I think for me personally, is diet. Because I can exercise every day whenever I want.
Yeah.
But I think, it's also, when you have a very weak willpower, it's
Yeah.
easier to indulge yourself in all these
Yeah.
pastries and sweets and oily
Yeah.
stuff and everything. So that's the most difficult part. Okay.
And I
So
feel like for
you're pretty
me,
much content with with your physique.
decently content. Yeah. Cause I think it's like I work in the beauty space, so all the events are always like very social. And I think that's what kind of my big challenge is. Cause like during the week, I'm like able to just like lock in, right? Cause like if I'm not interacting with people, it's easy to go to the gym, it's easy to keep track of my diet, it's easy to just get work done. But then on the weekend, when you gotta host people, when you gotta be like a showman, when you gotta be all the like fun and engaging, right? It's like you have to show people, you have to eat, you have to like, and then your
Yeah.
schedule gets all messed up too. So it's yeah.
Totally agree. Now, are you going to shave your body?
I waxed everything actually. So it was my first time getting waxed. And so I figured like right, because like rather than because there's always gonna be like a little spot you miss here or there. I figured let me just get waxed, right? I won't have to worry about anything during the competition, save a
Yeah.
little time. Yeah.
So, is it painful though? Was it a painful process?
Um, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so it
Oh,
wasn't too
okay.
bad, right? Because like it was, but I remember it's like it probably took like 3, 4 hours in total for everything. Yeah, but going like basically like neck down, they want you hairless, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, good. All right. I'm sure you're going to be fine.
yeah,
So, I would think being a California boy, you're very gregarious, you're very social. Now, how would your friends or your family describe you
yeah,
in 3 words? Who is
yeah.
the real Annie in 3 words?
I would say like ambitious, delusional, and crazy, right? Because it's like I'm a startup founder, so you have to be like a little bit delusional and crazy because I just like this is the first year where I'd say Spyro is really starting to pick up, right? And then, but like for the first 2 years prior, it's like everyone's just telling you to quit. And so I think that's one of those things where it's like your ambition keeps you going. You got to keep believing in what you're building, regardless of what people tell you. And then you just got to like not think about risk the way a normal person does.
Good. So ambitious, delusional, and crazy. Ambitious, I can understand, but delusional and crazy, they're kind of interesting.
Yeah. And so it's just like I think it's kind of more just like you have to be on the fringe to like
Yeah.
do anything great,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just like you have to be so far out there that like people are always like, "What are you doing?" kind of thing. Because I
Yeah.
know even for us, right? Like getting to where we have like an audience amongst Miss Universe, that's like from a very technical, tech-heavy background. It's like no one expected that, right? And
Mhm.
that was our first like big association that we were able to do. And then everything else has kind of just like trickled in from there, right? So it's like there's a lot of other pageants that we've started to kind of partner with,
Mhm.
right? But like Miss Universe is like the stamp of approval, where it's like if they're gonna talk to you, then other people will talk to you as well.
Mhm.
But then it's like
Exactly.
think you got to
Yeah.
be delusional to think that like you could just shoot for the top and get it. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think once in a while we could use some, crazy contestants to break the
yeah,
ice, so to speak. Because
keeps it
everybody
spicy.
everybody seems to be very so serious, like, once in a while. All right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Annie, what do you like to do for fun?
So like a lot of my time just goes into work stuff. So I do think one of the things I really enjoy is when we do the content days that are like more casual, right? Because then it's just everyone brings their makeup bag, they bring their skincare bag, and then you go around, you film, and then you try out each other's stuff. And it's like people are discovering new products through their friends rather than random people on the internet, which is kind of what Spira is going for. And then I do also like if I have time, then I'll like to travel, right? Where it's like I know recently I was in Nicaragua where we did volcano boarding,
Wow.
right? And so we were volcano boarding in the rain, which is like I just think it was a super cool experience where it's yeah, the like the mountains smoky, the rain's coming down. It was just really cool.
How did you go close to the crater?
So like the volcano they have us going on, it's like
Okay.
technically like technically active, but it's like more just like gravel that's like slightly hot and smoky. Yeah, but it was
Okay.
still a fun experience. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. That's good. Now, here's a good question. What do most people think of you that is false, but
yeah.
in reality is actually true?
So I think one of the big things now is like people forget to write code, right? Because like I've gotten so into the beauty scene and like doing all the beauty stuff that like people are like, who's writing the code now? And so I do think that's one of the people things that I think people sometimes like um think is false, right? Because it's just like, right, I have good skin. When my hair is down, it's pretty decent. And so like people forget that like, hey, I know the beauty piece, but I also know the tech side of things too.
No, no, you didn't cut your hair, did you?
No, it's tied. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
not gonna
actually,
cut
you know
it.
what? I
Yeah.
actually like that look. I really do. Because it's like a little ponytail thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have it like bobbed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you look personally, I think I prefer that look if you're competing in
Yeah.
formal
For the
wear.
pageant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to see I just want to see
The
your
face.
face,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So,
And I know that's one of the things that I think like talking to my friends versus the pageant crowd has definitely been like a topic of contention. Because I know all my friends like my hair down. Right. But then I know with the pageant crowd, it's like you want it tied up because then it brings out the face. And then also kind of what I figured too is like whenever there's pageant stuff, you're always going to be running out of time, right? And so I figured like if my hair is just tied, that's less work I need to do, right? Because
exactly.
like styling the hair is like that's another hour gone in the day. And so I figured it's like if I keep it tied, it keeps it simple, right? I think it's like for the for the swimsuit food, that's probably when I'd actually put it down, but everything else I'll keep it tied.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's always easier for guys than for girls
yeah,
competing in pageants. Yeah. Because girls take a lot of time, especially,
yeah,
if you don't have a professional makeup artist, you have to be your own makeup artist and hair
yeah.
stylist. So that's good. All right. Now, is there something fun that people do, but you don't want to try it?
I feel like skydiving, right? Because like I'm an adrenaline junkie, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like I mess it up somehow.
Wait, so I'm looking at the picture of the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess you wouldn't like. do bungee jumping from the top of the
I'd bungee jump. I wouldn't skydive or
Oh, okay, so okay, all right.
but like bungee jump, at least you're attached.
True.
Skydiving is like, oh, wrong chute.
I think also there are people, there are
There's
more fatalities involved with skydiving than there are bungee
yeah,
jumping.
yeah,
Whoa, all right. Now, here's a good one. What we all love challenges, but
yeah.
what is a challenge that you would never want to face?
I think maybe like losing like my curiosity, right? Because I do think like one of the big things is like I've handled a lot of rejection, failure, and having to start over, just being in the startup world, right? But I think losing the will to try again and basically keep learning would definitely be a big tragedy.
Good answer. I like that. It's very, solid, very firm and on point. Love it. Uh, Here's a philosophical question.
Yeah,
Annie, what do you think is your purpose in life?
yeah. So I do think, right, like one of the things I spend basically all my time on is Spira, which is essentially we're trying to bring tech and beauty together in a way that helps people feel more confident, connect to each other more authentically, and basically have a better human experience, right? And so I do think like fostering that authenticity and bringing that back to beauty is one of the big things I'm very passionate about.
So you'd like to you consider yourself as somebody who can contribute a lot to make the world a much prettier and healthier
Yeah,
place.
make it help everyone be prettier, help everyone be healthier, help everyone
Yeah.
save money in the process.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah,
like one of those you're pioneering, you're one of those young entrepreneurs trying
yeah,
to inspire people, with fresh ideas about beauty and health.
yeah.
I
And I
like
think
that. I really do.
one of the big
Great.
things too, like people have just lost so much time to how like modern social media works. Where I think for us, it's like the way we've designed Spira is in a way where it's like you don't need to spend 6 hours on TikTok to find one product that works, right? You could go to Spira, look up your friend's makeup drawer and see if they've reviewed it, or even just look up the product and see if anyone you know has reviewed it, right? Because that's going to be worth so much more than just all the ads you see on Instagram. And we kind of want to like help give people their time back so then they can start to regain their lives because I think everyone's just become a slave to the algorithm at this point.
Exactly. All right, so people watching, if you don't want to waste too much time looking for the best skincare or beauty products, go to Anna's page and there's a link. There's a link to your company.
Yeah,
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 which I'm going to put down in the description box later today
yeah,
so people can visit you. That's great. Wonderful. Now, here's a good one. Annie, if there were no rules in life for one day, all right,
yeah,
and you could be totally crazy and
yeah.
outrageous, what would you do?
I think I'd go to every red carpet and ask the celebrities what's actually with a mic, what's in your drawer, right? Because I think you see all these celebrity endorsements, but you know they're not using any of it, right? And so I do think just like trying to like with the whole platform being focused on authenticity, trying to be like, hey, what do you actually use? You know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh, I think that would be crazy, totally crazy. Yeah. Hopefully they won't like, arrest you or pull you out of the red
yeah.
carpet for being totally.
One day out. Yeah,
Love that one. Here's a good question. Annie, name three things that you would never do, even if they paid you a lot of money.
yeah. One, I'd say like stop learning, right? Like I want to always be in a room where like I feel like I can learn from people and kind of help educate people as well. Um, Skincare wise, only sometimes use sunscreen because, right, that's how you fall apart real quick.
That's
And
right.
then I think the last piece, right, like I don't want to promote something I don't believe in, right? And so I think like with modern social media, it's gotten to the point where people just promote anything for a dollar. And so, like with Spire as a brand, it's like anything that we put out, I've personally tested, or for the more makeup stuff, my friends have tested, right? And
Mhm.
so everything has been vetted by either me or someone I trust before we even try and bring it to the community.
I like that. When you talk about learning, I think a lot of people don't really take the time to learn and do their own research. They just tend to believe everything that the media, tell them
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot. only because a popular celebrity is endorsing such and such product, without, yeah, well, like you said, a lot of celebrities endorse products, but they themselves don't even use it.
Yeah,
So they just take the money and run. That's it. Well,
yeah.
all right. Here's a good one. I'm sure you've probably been a victim of cyberbullying. Now, how do you deal with all these trolls and haters online?
I just laugh. I'm like, good one, bro. I
What do you
just think
do?
it's
What?
funny. I just laugh about it, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because I'll laugh and agree, and then it's like that usually shuts them up. Because I'm just like, that's a good one. Yeah.
So you just you don't take him seriously.
No. Yeah.
All right. All right. I like that one.
So
I
you
just
can't really
blocked them.
spend too. Yeah, it's like you can't spend too much time thinking about them.
Yeah,
So, but then
exactly.
it's
Because
like
yeah, well, not only that, but because their opinion really don't matter. They just want
they
attention.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if they're commenting, it still boosts me in the algorithm, so I still win. Yeah.
Now, here's a good one. We all dream of owning a dream house. What is your idea of a dream house?
Yeah. I feel like this is a tough question for me because I'm always traveling.
Mars?
So I do, maybe not. But I do think, right, I do want somewhere like I'd want something that's like very open space and then like has a view of the ocean, right? I feel like the ocean's always very calming.
Wait, so if your dream house were found outside of California, would you move out of California?
Yeah,
You would.
potentially, yeah.
All right. All right. I like that one. Open space. Here's a good one, Annie. What is
Yeah.
something that you have never told anyone and you're ready
Um,
to tell the world now?
yeah. I feel like I'm more scared of being ordinary than failing.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Because I feel like
Interesting.
I've always had a very high risk tolerance, but I'm just like, I don't want to be like everyone else.
Are you a perfectionist?
Um, I feel like when I was younger, I used to be, and now it's like I've become less of a perfectionist and more it's just like because there's a certain degree to when like the perfectionism just becomes diminishing, right? And so it's like you got to put out a good amount of stuff to get quality, but like you don't like that last 5% between an A and an A plus is there's not that much different, right? And so when I was younger, I used to definitely be way more of like a every dot needs to be dotted. But as I get older, I'm just like as long as like I'm delivering something in a way that creates value to whoever's receiving it, I'm good with that.
How did you do in school?
I did really well, right? So it's like I finished my undergrad in 2 years with a 3.9 GPA, finished my master's in computer science with a 3.8. Yeah.
All right. So
And then, yes, I went to Cal Poly, right? That's a very rigorous CS program. Yeah.
so that this explains your capacity to, your penchant for um high achievements, I would think.
Yeah.
You
I think
always
I
you
just,
always strive for excellence, right?
yeah, I like stressing myself out. And it's weird if
Ah,
I'm not stressed out. Yeah.
all right. Now, here's a good one. I mean, obviously we all have talents. Do you
Yeah.
have any hidden talent, Annie?
I feel like a random skill I have is origami, right? And so this is one of those things I like picked up as a kid where every like once in a while I'll kind of like do it again. But I feel like that's like a something that qualifies as like a hidden talent. Yeah.
But are you musical? Do you play any
I'm
instruments?
not musical, right? So it's like one thing I've noticed with me is like if it's like a 3D form of art, I can usually do it well. But like drawing, I'm not good at. 2D art, I'm not good at. But it's like sculpture I can do, origami I can do. If it's like even like kirigami with the scissors I can do. But it's just 3D art I'm good at. Like 2D art I struggle with. I just find that, yeah,
But can you cook?
yeah. It's 3D.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I would think, do you live alone?
So I have a roommate, right?
Okay.
So it's like, yeah. And I think for me, it's like I travel a lot too. So it's like I go between like San Jose and Los Banos a lot. And so yeah, but the thing is like I'm living with my guy friends where it's like we just have boy dinner, as we call it, right? Where it's just like you eat very simply and then it's just like protein, it's just like chicken and vegetables for most of
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Nothing elaborate, say
Yeah.
something really quick and
Simple.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, here's a good one. Annie, what makes you mad?
I would say influencers
Who?
because I do influencers like more
Influencers.
because like things
Anyone,
like with
anyone in
more.
particular?
I mean, I got a list. But I do think, right, especially like coming from the beauty space, they promote so many products that they never use, right? Where it's like, how can you say you like support a product if you never even finished it? And then it's like you look at some of these influencers, they have a whole room of all the products they've given. So it's like, how can you really even critique that many products? You know what I mean? And I do think that's like kind of one of the problems with like modern beauty, right? Because I
Mhm.
think the perfect example of this is our beauty director has a 14-year-old daughter who her Christmas present was a $50 for a gift card, right? She spent it on a sponge that she absolutely hated because some influencer told her to buy it, right? So it's like people are spending their hard-earned money, they're spending their time, and then they're just getting products that don't work because they have the biggest budgets.
Yes, understandable, really. There's what is it? I forgot her name, but she's one of those famous influencers. And well, see, the thing is with social media is that anybody can be an influencer.
Yeah,
You can be a nano influencer with like 1,000 followers up to
yeah,
like a macro major influencer with 1 million followers. It's so easy to just post a picture on Instagram and then call yourself a model.
yeah,
Anybody can be a model on Instagram these days.
yeah.
You know,
And I think that's one of the things I've noticed, like being in the modeling space, that like people really struggle with is like the content side of things. Right. And so it's like making content's hard. Right. And I know like that's one of the things, even with Spira, like we've built in tools where it's like if you review a product, you can share it and it'll create like a post for you to kind of make your life a little bit easier. But then I do think also with the modeling space, it's like the models need to make sure they're converting for the brands they work with. Right.
mhm.
And so it's like the brands are spending all this money to run a show, to run whatever it is. Right. But like if the model is just there to walk, and isn't there for the brand, then it's like they're not going to go very far. I think that's one of the things I've noticed a little bit, even with like some of my shows, where it's just like some of the ones are there to promote the brand, some of them are just there to walk, some of
Mhm.
them are just there. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, are there any influencers that you like?
Um, I wouldn't call them influencers, but I think like for us as a brand, we've taken a very pageant centric angle for our marketing. So part of one of the big things I realized, like if you take off the makeup of a beauty influencer, right, their skin looks terrible, right? Because they're
All the
trying
big
so many,
pores, yeah.
well, it's like a chemical reaction going on your face every day, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like you take out the pageant girls' makeup, they all look great because like they're not going to endorse something they can't actually get behind. And I do think even for me, it's like they're just much more authentic individuals, right? And they're like good role models for the next generation, where I think it's like in this whole do anything for views kind of era we're in. It's like they they don't, right? They'll
Mhm.
promote stuff if they actually believe in it, but they're not going to put out stuff that's just to put out stuff. Yeah,
I would agree totally. I mean that is very true. Yeah. I think though being an influencer, I think we have that I wouldn't say moral responsibility, but more like an obligation, like a social
yeah,
or maybe a cultural obligation to inform our followers, what is really authentic and true.
yeah,
Because if you just post stuff like that on your social media and then pretend that it's true, then it serves really no purpose at all. It's just fake. It's just all
yeah. And then
artificial. Yeah.
it's like with the way some of these like modern algorithms work. I remember there was this one channel, right? So this guy would go around just cleaning like garbage in the forest and all stuff like that, right? And then he made a channel where he went around polluting, and the polluting channel got 10 times the views.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's like all these cases like that, right? So it's just, I think social
So,
media is just, it's crazy.
do you
Yeah.
have a do you have a YouTube channel?
I need to get on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know we've been doing like our mini series where it's
Okay.
like primarily on Instagram, but we're cross posting to the other channels. But I think it's right now it's like I don't have the bandwidth to manage multiple
Okay.
platforms. But
Yeah.
it's like I'll post on Instagram and then we'll let the tools post it on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
I
Yeah,
think you
but
should. I think it's a good idea where you can like pretty much promote your products and whatnot. And
yeah,
I know there's a lot of beauty influencers on YouTube and social media.
yeah,
And I for a while, I think for a couple of years, I was following several skin expert influencers, and then they were all comparing all these different products. What's the best vitamin C serum, vitamin
yeah.
E, and collagen, and whatnot, and everything. So I followed them for a bit. But you know what? One day I just decided, oh, the hell
It's
with
too
you
much
guys.
information.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
want to waste my time just watching and spending my time comparing all these different products. So what I did, I went to see a professional esthetician, skincare
yeah.
esthetician. And man, let me tell you, I had my first micro needling.
Oh yeah,
Man, it works. Okay.
yeah,
I mean, I save a lot of money rather than wasting my money on all these stupid products. Hey, microneedling, go to an expert
yeah.
instead of all these
On
stupid
the
YouTube
internet.
influencers, go
Yeah,
to a skin expert, a surgeon, a plastic surgeon, or whatever. And
yeah,
man, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And also I had my first Botox like actually last year, last summer, on my like 11 zone on
yeah,
my forehead. Actually, I could use a new one. But yeah, so you really have to be very cautious and really again do your research. Do
yeah.
your research, okay?
I think one of the topics along those lines, right? Like with social media, anyone can post, right? And so this is one of the big things I've noticed with people over 35 and under 35 in beauty, right? So the over 35 crowd, they actually had to learn a salon, they had to go to school, they had to get their certifications, right? But all their social media accounts are on private. And so the thing is like the
Yeah.
younger generation is just putting out content, doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong, but it's like if you're on private, no one's going to see you, right? And so it's just like, and this is just happening at a massive scale. So it's like all the people that are actually know how to do this stuff from like an educated standpoint are just like more or less hidden, and the people that just make the most noise or putting out the most stuff are what the algorithm feeds.
Exactly. That is so true. That is so true. People will do anything just for clicks and views anyway,
Yeah,
getting monetized and all. So yeah, people beware, okay, what you buy on social media. All right, let's move on. Here's a good question. Annie, what would you do if you were the opposite sex for a month? Put yourself in
uh,
a woman's position for a month. What would you do?
yeah. I mean, I'm already in the beauty space, so I have a little bit of experience in it. But I
All
would
right.
say I'd try all the men's products. I'll try all the three-in-ones, try all of those 15 different drain cleaner, shampoo, skincares in one, just to see how it works, right? I do think it's like, even for like an understanding, right? Because like male and female skin is different, right? Men have more collagen than women. And so I do think there's like
I
a
didn't know
level.
that.
So like men have thicker skin than women. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so it's like, yeah, I think that's one of the things that I think I'd like try to experiment with all, see how the men's products work on a woman. Because like honestly, even for me, most of the time I'm using women's products on a man, right?
Yeah.
So because like most skincare stuff is more geared towards, it's unisex, but it's more geared towards women. Yeah.
Okay. But see, if you were a woman for a month, that means you would have to shave your legs, your armpits, everything, because
I
nobody
mean, I
wants a
just
hairy woman,
waxed.
okay?
I just waxed everything. It feels the same. I imagine it's
Nobody wants
similar.
a hairy woman unless you're
Yeah.
European. Kidding, just
Yeah.
kidding. All right. Here's a good one. Annie, what belief do you have that most people disagree with?
I think one of the big things for me is like I just don't play it safe, right? Because I do think even for someone in my background, right, I got a master's in AI. It's like, why aren't you working at Google? Why aren't you working at Microsoft? Why are you doing this app, right? And then it's like even when we're before it was working, like all the like dead end jobs I worked to kind of keep this app going. Um, I think it's one of those things where it's like you see the vision, you keep going, but it's just like you can't do everything by the book and expect to get ahead because like everything's going to keep changing, right? And so it's like the only way you can stay ahead is if you're just doing what you want to do that's going to make you happy on your own, regardless of the output.
But how have you been in a situation where you've run into people who really showed like violent or vehement reaction against a belief that you hold so dearly. And it
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
matter
I've
how
got.
much, and it doesn't matter how how hard you try to convince them or to change their views, they still hold on to their beliefs.
Well, so me going to Miss Universe was actually like a big problem for some of our investors, right? And so like one, it's like I was there on my money, not theirs, which is like that's a whole different argument. But it's like a lot of my investors saw that as like a complete waste of time. But the thing is like we're a beauty platform. We need to talk to people in beauty, right? But our like some of the investors just didn't understand that, where that was like a huge rift that caused it, right? Where it's like you're either going to be full time or you're not, right? Where it's like my co-founder ended up stepping back. But it was just one of those things where it's like you're trying to explain a problem to people who don't understand it, right? And so they have their view of it. They never got an audience in the space. And so that was one of the things where it's like I built my credibility in the beauty industry and people started to trust me. And so like that kind of like it took a while for me to get from like a tech background to where people in beauty trusted me, but it's gotten there. And I think that's one of those things where it's like it's you have to keep standing on it because the people that everyone has their own ideas of like what your company's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And like if you listen to everyone else's ideas, it's not going to work, right? Because like
Good.
more often than not, their ideas are wrong.
Totally agree. So if you don't stand up for something, you will fall for everything. Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah,
Sort of.
yeah.
All right. Here's a good one. Let's say if you were to judge a pageant, what question would you ask a contestant and give an answer?
So I guess for me, right, because I think one of the questions I might ask would be like, what is a recent hardship event that you went through and how did you handle it? Right? Because for me, my dad passed about a year ago. And then this was like right during when we were like applying to be part of some incubator program. And so like everything just kind of fell apart, right? And so even with the business, everything fell apart. And so it's kind of like still trying to make sure, hey, even with everything going on, try to make the calls that you can, try to do what you can, try to get back up, and then just keep going, right? There's always going to be curveballs, but you need to just keep going. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, life is full of obstacles and challenges, rather than actually ignoring them or preventing them, let them happen because it's good for
yeah,
you. It's part of, I think it's part of being mature
yeah,
and living life. All right. Here's a good one. Annie, what makes you sad and what brings you the most joy?
yeah. Like I don't know if sad's the right word for it, but maybe like a little disappointments because sometimes like whenever you're doing these events, you hope all your friends will show up. You hope they're like, sometimes they don't show up, right? But I think that always kind of like,
Even after
it's a
committing
no,
themselves? Yeah.
yeah, that happens, right? And so it's like, it's one of those things I've just kind of like gotten more and more numb to because it's just people have their own stuff going in their life sometimes that I'm not aware of. Like I can't take it personally. Um, but I do think it's one of those things. It's just like you try and support your friends when you can, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? And then I'd say one of the things that I think like brings me the most joy is when we're like getting like a new brand to start working with Spira, right? And so I think that's kind of one of the things that I think like excites me, that gets me the most excited because it's like, oh, we're starting to actually start to drive this innovation, bring these new products to the market, right? Because one of the brands we're starting to work with is a company called Healmise from Korea. And so they've invented a freeze-dried capsule that works as like a protein shake for your skincare, right? So it doesn't interfere with your skincare, but you can like, I want extra HA, I want Cica, I want collagen, and it's like a booster shot, but you just blend it in your serum and apply it. Yeah. And so it's really cool. And then just learning about all the different innovation that's going on in the space as well.
All right. So what makes you happy is basically creative freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever work is working. That's
Exactly.
what I'll say.
Exactly. And if it doesn't
Yeah.
work, then move on. Drop that
Yeah.
product and move on to a new one. All right. We all need creative freedom. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Annie, why should you be Mr. America Global 2025?
Yeah. So I do think I'd make a great Mr. America Global, right? Because I spent a lot of time learning about how to be authentic, how to be myself, and that's something I kind of want to help put out in the world, right? As a platform focused on male wellness, I think I've gone through a lot of struggles as a man. I've become stronger through it, and I think my experience can help inspire others.
All right, good one. Short and sweet. Good. Woohoo! All right, enough of the stupid questions. Let's have some fun. Let's play some
Yeah,
games. All right.
yeah,
We all love to play games. Game number one is called This or That. So I'm going to mention two things, and you just tell
yeah.
me what you prefer. Annie, coffee or tea?
Coffee, 100%.
You take it black?
Depends, right? I feel like I'll do black coffee when it's just me and I'm just like, I need to get work done. And then
Okay.
with social, I'll do like a latte or a mocha, right? I'm like a big chocolate fan, so mocha.
So do you make your own coffee?
No. Yeah, like
Or you buy
I like
them?
I yeah, so like whenever I'm like I feel like I do coffee more when I'm at like events or something like that.
Okay.
Because like at least for me, like I'm more of like a pre-workout guy. So like because I always work out first thing in the morning. So you have your pre-workout, go to the gym, and then grind out your day.
All right, coffee for everybody. Annie, wine or beer?
So I think this depends on the situation, right? I feel like there's situations in which like I want to be more like classy and refined where I'll do wine. And then it's like beer when you're just like chilling with the boys.
All right, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one. Ice cream in a cone or ice cream in a dish?
in a cone, always. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, it's more fun to actually hold a cone, right? And lick
Yeah,
the ice cream rather than like in a dish. Because you have to use like two hands, whereas with a cone,
yeah.
just one hand. All
Where's the
right.
fun in that? Yeah.
Annie, boxers or briefs?
Are boxer briefs a option? Because I feel like that's what I wear.
Oh, the combo, the hybrid,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
combination. All right. Now, I know there's going to be a swimsuit competition.
yeah.
Have they decided on what type of swimwear they're going to use?
So I think the shoot is gonna be like a speedo, and then the walk is gonna be like a boxer brief kind of.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
We all love Speedos.
yeah.
Annie, taxi or Uber?
Say Uber, right? I don't even know where taxis still exist.
Are there any more taxis in Los Angeles?
Well, it's I'm in SF, right? Like you got the Waymos, you got self-driving ones that
Okay,
have like the
okay.
million
All right.
different sensors going off all the time. But yeah, those are cool.
All right. Yeah, I think everybody's switching to Uber these days.
Yeah,
Although, if I go to New York, I always usually take the taxi, the yellow cab, because it's iconic.
yeah,
And it's a dying industry in most of the country, but in New York, it's still one of those iconic mode of transportation that I
yeah.
I, I I continue to support. So good, yellow cab, New York. Annie, singing lessons or dance lessons?
I would say probably dance. Because I think for me, like I think it's like, I mean, I've taken dance a while in the past, but I think like with all the lifting, I kind of want to get more like limber. And so I think like, I know with pageant mode, you're like in a certain level of grind, but I think after that, I want to do more dynamic workouts, right? So like potentially getting back into like wrestling and then maybe doing some dance classes here and there. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, well, dance burns more calories actually than singing anyway. So,
yeah.
Annie, dog or cat?
I got a cat. Her
Oh,
name's
you have a
Daisy.
cat?
Yeah,
They're more independent, right?
yeah.
So
They want your attention when they want your attention. They don't
yeah, they
need your
don't need a
attention all the
lot of
time.
I
Yeah,
mean, they're very independent. Even if you kick them out of the house, they don't care. They go for
yeah.
this house instead. Game number two. Tell me your favorites. What is your favorite music?
So I listen to a lot of like I'd say hip hop and like electronic music. I think that's kind of like the two niches I do a lot of. If you want to pick an artist, I feel like Hanuman Kind blew up a while back with the Big Dog song, and he's like an Indian guy, so we're from like the same kind of community. So I feel like he's artist wise definitely someone who's solid for me.
All right, good one. Who is your favorite actor or actress?
Um, like I don't watch a lot of movies and TV, but I would
Okay.
say maybe like Ryan Reynolds, right? He's always a funny guy in any movie he plays.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I guess this question is relevant, but I'm going to ask anyway. What is your
yeah.
favorite movie?
Um, Maybe like Pirates of the Caribbean, something like
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean?
yeah.
The original,
Trying
the
to,
first one with Johnny
mhm.
Depp, right? With Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing actor, very talented. What is your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Ooh, I would say probably mango lassi. It's like the
Ooh, I love
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I love them. Yeah. Are you of Indian
I'm
heritage?
Indian, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I love Mongolese. I love Indian food, period.
yeah.
What is your favorite color?
I'd say blue. I think
Blue?
yeah. And I think
Is that
now
gonna be,
though, it's like I've been wearing a lot more pink just because of our branding. And
yeah.
so I do think it's like I wear like I think it's shifting a little bit. Yeah.
Is that going to be the color of your formal wear
My
or
formal wear is black. Right. So I think like I've had to change I've had to get like new suits a bunch of times. So I'm trying to like scramble, get everything together and get it all tailored in time. But yeah.
all right. Can't wait to see it. What is your favorite holiday?
Probably Halloween.
Halloween?
Right. Yeah, because I think it's one of the more festive ones. I think just growing up, like we always had family issues around like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So like Halloween was always like the fun holiday, and then you get to dress up, and then there's just
Well, not only that, but you get
yeah,
to put on makeup, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah,
You can be a totally different character. Woohoo!
yeah.
All right. Game number three. Would you rather marry an Olympic gold medalist or marry a Hollywood superstar?
I would say an Olympian, right? Because I think I don't want someone with a schedule like mine, and so like with the Olympics, I feel like their workloads kind of come in waves, right? But like if they're in Hollywood, they're gonna have no one's ever gonna be at home.
So you'd rather be with someone who is really very disciplined and has structure
Yeah, or
and
I wouldn't say
who is
like
not predictable.
what's like I would say is like I want someone who like doesn't have or like has more like they're disciplined, right? But they have like more availability than someone who's like constantly going to be on the move. Yeah,
All right. Would you rather drive a Jaguar or a Ferrari?
I feel like a Ferrari.
A Ferrari?
Yeah, I feel like it's one
Yeah.
of those things. Even as a little kid, you always looked up to.
Yeah, I can see you're more like a Ferrari guy, type of guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, very, especially with a ponytail and everything.
yeah.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
I would say time. I don't have enough time as it is now. But I think it's like if you have more time, you're building something you believe in, the money will always follow. If you put in good out in the world, it'll make it work. The universe will put out the energy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I wish there were like 38 hours in one day instead of
yeah,
24 hours. I mean, 24 hours these days just seems too short. I don't know why. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Annie. Would you rather know all the world's languages or speak with animals?
All the languages for sure. Because I feel like even just in my line of work, like I've seen so many deals just like fall apart because of language barriers. And I do think, right, even if you can understand the two different languages, there's all these different opportunities you can create between two different markets.
Now, earlier you mentioned you know Spanish. Do you speak other languages?
Like I can understand Kannada, so that's like our family's mother tongue in India. So it's like when the grandparents were here, I could speak it, but now it's kind of more like whenever my mom doesn't want someone to understand what we're saying, that's what she speaks in. So it's like I still kind of follow it, and then Hindi's like 10%, where it's like I can understand, I recognize the words, I don't really follow what they mean all that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say like my Spanish is conversational. My Canada, at least I can understand. And yeah, that's
Mhm.
it for now. I do
Okay.
think Portuguese is on my list of to learns because I know we've been building like a little bit of presence in Brazil. And
Yeah.
so just kind of like might be good to know if we end up there down the road.
You never know. You might end up one of these days living in Portugal. Hey, the Azores,
Yeah,
beautiful beaches.
yeah,
Never know. All right. And plus, it's a beautiful language. Portuguese is a, it sounds,
yeah,
it sounds very romantic, especially in poetry. Yeah.
yeah.
Love
I think
Portuguese.
coming from Spanish, it's just like you spend
Yeah.
3 to 6 months. It probably shouldn't take longer than that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Annie, would you rather eat only meat or eat only plant-based foods the rest of your life?
So yeah, I'd rather go carnivore than vegan.
Really? Okay. Why?
Yeah. One, it's like I like protein, right? I like to lift. There was like a couple periods where I like tried going vegan, where it's like I just feel weak. Like I don't know how else to put it. It's just like it's way harder to get your protein. It's not, I'm not gonna say it's impossible,
Mhm.
but I think it's just harder to do. And then
No, that's not true, young man. Especially if you live in California. California is
yeah,
like the most vegan state in the union
yeah.
after
But then it's
Oregon.
like, yeah, you get all the like a lot of the protein comes from like soy then, which is like a separate issue, you
Well,
know.
beans, of
Yeah,
course, and flax seeds. Anything that's green, anything that has
yeah,
intense colors like kale, broccoli, and spinach, all are filled with protein.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would challenge you to go vegan at least once a week. Have a
Once a week.
like vegan Mondays or something.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
survive. You won't die.
yeah, yeah.
Would you rather take a vow of celibacy or a vow of silence?
Probably vow of silence. I do think with technology
What?
going in,
Really?
yeah, I think
So you
with
can't you
tech,
can't control your urges?
I can control myself, but it's just, I think technology is also going to get to a point pretty soon where it's like you
All
can just
right.
talk through your phone or through your head, right? Yeah,
Well, yeah, but if you win Mr. America Global, you cannot be silenced. Remember,
yeah,
you are representing the organization, which means that you constantly have to speak, right?
speak, yeah.
So think about that, young man. Last one. Would you rather be the richest person or the most influential person?
I would probably say like the most influential, because I do think if you're influential, you'll be able to make things connect with your network and your presence, and you'll make money either way, right? Because like you don't like after a certain point, your money is diminishing anyway, and so it's just like you could get another yacht, but like
Yeah.
it's not like I don't know. I'm not that materialistic where I need the most expensive car just to have the most expensive car.
That's true. That's a good
Yeah,
one. But you know what? Sometimes I wonder, with all the money that you have, it's easy to buy influence, right?
yeah. Both of these questions I think can work in either ways,
Yeah, they were too.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But I think it's like I think people always tell when you're buying something versus when you're actually just doing it and doing it because people like you, right? Like they like you can tell when something's kind of paid for versus something's just like authentic. It's like the whole influencer problem, right? So
Right.
you could build a brand just spending millions of dollars on influencers, but it's like it's going to be very short-lived because no one actually believes in your product.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, I'm sure I think some of the luckiest people in the world are born rich or come from, rich families and
Yeah,
whatnot. And also very influential at the same time. So
yeah,
they're like the most successful. All right. Hopefully in the next life, I'll be both.
yeah.
All right. So have you actually interacted with your fellow contestants?
Yeah, so we've had a
Yeah.
couple calls. Yeah, so we've had a couple calls with everyone. And then just like a little bit here on like social media and stuff, but that's about it. Yeah.
So he was really excited to meet them in person.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to meet people from like every state at the same time.
Yeah. I
I think
think I
that'll be
believe how many
cool.
contestants are there? I think there are like 20 or something, I believe.
Something around there, yeah.
Yeah, for that area. So it should be really fun. Like it's a 3 day event, I
Yeah.
believe. 3 days. Okay. Now are you flying direct? You're not driving,
Um,
are you?
no, I'm flying
It's too
in. Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah.
All right. That's wonderful. So as far as your preparations, you're all set. As far as your interview preparation, you feel you're 100% confident.
Yeah, I think there's still like some of the topics I know they want us to look into that I need to do some more research
Yeah.
prior to the pageant for.
Mhm.
But I feel like for a lot of the interview stuff, I'm like fairly confident about going about it.
See, that's what I want to hear. 100% confident. Because if you're less than 100% confident, then you're not ready. Okay. So
Yeah,
you have to be totally 101%
yeah.
ready. Okay. So no matter what happens, it doesn't matter whether you win or you lose. The most important thing is that you
You sound
went
confident.
and you actually represented the great state of California. And also, of course, you represented yourself as well.
Yeah,
And you interact with people, who knows, you meet new friends and you meet new people who might be interested in your business or working
yeah,
with you, collaborating with you. So, you also have to think of the big picture. Not you.
yeah,
Okay, great. You want to win, but that's just the icing on top of the cake. The most important thing sometimes is the journey and the whole experience. So even
yeah,
if you don't win this time, who knows? Maybe next time you will, you
yeah.
know.
And I think for me, like going through this pageant process is definitely like one of the
Mhm.
big reasons I'm doing it, right? Because like we've taken a very pageant centric approach to our marketing. So I'm like going through this process and doing a pageant, I think helps me understand all the pieces that go into a pageant from both like I've been on the sponsor side and now I think going in as like the as a delegate, I think there's like the full comprehensive experience of pageantry that I'll be able to develop coming out of this.
Totally, 100% agree. That's good to know. Listen, I want to thank you for joining me in this interview. I think I have an idea of who you are, and also the people who are watching have a much better idea of who you are, who the real Annie is. And I really appreciate for you taking the time of your busy schedule. Now, before I let you go, is there a message that you would like to convey to your supporters and your followers out there?
I guess putting me on the spot here. So I guess stay true to yourself, be authentic, don't let people scare you from your ideas.
Awesome, powerful, aspirational, and inspirational message. And on that note, Critical Beauty, thank you for joining me and Annie for this incredible chat. And thank you for patronizing this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so right now. And please follow Annie on his journey to Mr. America Global 2025. I will put down your Instagram handle so people can follow you on your journey. Listen, young man, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy, like what you said, be yourself, be authentic, and the rest will follow. All right.
Yeah.
So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And hopefully I think I'll meet you again on the 19th for the
Yeah.
roundtable with all the other guys. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Listen, good luck and have a great day.